I mean, I have to think on Baby Star's mother alone.
Yeah.
She would drive us around with her red truck all of the time, and when we would say, "Are we gonna take an Uber or something?" No, 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 kids, that's too dangerous. I'm gonna drive you.
That's dope. I love that.
And then it was so wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
2021, we're moving on to new things, but doesn't mean that we can't stop enjoying some good films. So that's why we're up here talking to two great creatives, and they're here to bring up new light for a film that will be debuting at South by Southwest in 2021. And the only film I could be talking about is Luchadoras, and directed by these two people right here is Paola Calvo and Patrick Jasim. How are y'all doing?
Yeah, we're wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah.
And look, if y'all know me, I love me some good wrestling. And this film here is about Lucha Libre Wrestling. And when you think about that, you're like, oh, so we're going to see this, the same old thing of them doing high flying and technical wrestling. But slow your roll. There's more to the picture. And I'm here to tell you more about that. In this film, Luchadoras, this film sets the tone of three women and living in Juarez, Mexico, a very rough part of Mexico, and knowing their stories of wanting to be Lucha Libre wrestlers, whether they be past their prime or wrestlers who were at the top but had to give it up for personal reasons. Each story connects to the main point. So I really just want to go to the main point with both of you two. What inspired you to tell this story?
Yeah.
We got very inspired by the protagonists. Like once we met them, we were super, we got so much energy from them, and we learned this new way of see life, and like always fighting, always going forwards, always. And the most important thing what they all have is they always have a smile on their face. So whatever happens, they are gonna stand up and continue and continue and continue. And this is wonderful. This gave us a lot of energy to make this film actually when we arrived there.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Ciudad Juarez is one of the roughest parts of Mexico, especially for women. It used to be known as the city of femicide, where women get killed for being women, hate crimes all day, every day, to be honest. And then when we knew about the city, and then when we realized there's this wrestling culture, and Juarez is one of the hotspots of the, you can say, do-it-yourself, smaller wrestling hotspots of Mexico. And then we found out there's these women that really, they're not making big bucks with this, it's a true passion thing for them. And in this city where it's dangerous to be a woman, women fighting in the ring and presenting this strong womanhood, we thought it's super inspiring. And then for us as filmmakers, there was no second thought about it. We had to go there. We went there, and then we found these wonderful people that now were ready to film with us, to shoot with us. Yeah.
So it was a very nice contrast. For one side, all these bad things about Ciudad Juarez, because we were of course very focused on the city and what happened there, and we wanted to know how do women live there. And once we were there and we discovered them, we were so amazed and so happy, and we said, okay, we really have to make the film, because with this woman we are breaking prejudices. The women we are seeing in Juarez are not the victims, they are the fighters.
Yes. And it went, when we got to know them, they all were so open to shoot with us and to work with us, and really let us into their lives, that we were, it went so deep with them. They really invited us to their families and their kids and all that daily struggles. And so it really went away from all the wrestling into what does it mean to be a woman in Juarez, and the wrestling is still a big part of the movie, but it went deeper than what we originally had anticipated in shooting with them. And so that was, we felt welcomed. Yeah.
Just you speaking on that, because all three of these women, from Lady Candy, Baby Star, I keep her name right. Sierra. This, oh,
I had to.
hey,
It took me a long
hey.
time.
Those, it's just like you said, it was more above wrestling. You know, all three women connected with each other with their journeys, whether it be one woman, Lady Candy, who is her girls are over the border from her ex-husband who abused her, to Baby Star, who was trying to make a second comeback, but all the struggles that came with it, with her also being a mother. Urban Sierra, I think that was my favorite character. Was her story was that she was over the, for her, a lot of people think she's over the age and that her career should be done, but she never wanted to stop achieving her dream. Whether all the steps inside of it, she would push through it. No matter if she was a grandmother, no matter that her mother was ill, she wanted this so bad. And I think that's what I love about was that these three women were weaved together, without you not really knowing about that, how all of them dreamed, pushed, and said that nothing would stop them, while also knowing of the things that would held them back, like you said, about how their country and the people around them look at them and try to hold them back.
And especially Mini Serenita. I mean, she went all the way through with it, and she was like, she was never complaining. You know, she was just pushing forward. And you could say, I mean, because of her short stature, that there were, it was more difficult for her than for others. And yeah, we felt she inspired us a lot. Also, because what we became to learn that this whole femicide thing in Juarez is mainly happening in the outskirts, like I think you would say the suburbs in English, where really the workers live outside, that work in all these factories that that are in Juarez, that produce these. I think you call them the working poor, right? People that work hours on end, but barely can afford a living. And that's really where a lot of the crime against women happens. And she's right from that spot. And then she's short statued, and then she has a child already, and all of that, but she would still do it. She would still train every week. She would still go to the fights, to the events on the weekend, and she would just keep on doing it, you know, no questions asked. Total passion there.
She said that this was my dream. Like, she talked to her mother, and her mother even told her, how can I stop you from achieving something you want? And just like she works 9 to 5s, barely can afford medication, and knowing that all the crime that happens near her workspace, because on the buses, people would stake the buses and kidnap these women, and they'd be gone forever. I mean, the study showed for Ciudad Juarez that so many, over like 300 women were killed through the time period. And so you be afraid to even try to think about doing something that you want to do, because you're just trying to think about to live. And I think on that subject, I want to talk to you guys about how the importance of this film, of women showing that we want whatever they would want to do, how to not be afraid to go get it, while also too being concerned of how your people look at you, and also too worrying about your life.
Well, I think it's a very interesting question you're asking, because I think one of the things that happens when you are in Juarez is that you are afraid. Like, be afraid is a feeling that it's almost always there. But people who are courageous are people who, even though they are afraid, they do the things that they want to do. So for us, this woman, because what, you know, in Juarez is a dangerous place. A lot of things happen there, and you have to be very careful. So even though you know all the risk, all the dangers, they stand up and they go and they fight. And I think this is what we admire from them, because to be courageous is not just not to feel fear. To be courageous is to be afraid of something, but still don't let the fear let you down. So this is something we totally learned from them, and this is something that and this is something you also this is what they have, and this is what we totally admire.
And you said you guys, they allowed you to come into their world, and you embraced every little thing, from the mask versus hair matches, from the weapons, from the interferences. So, and just you guys getting engulfed in the wrestling culture, like what did you see out of it when you were looking like, oh wow, you wrestlers don't play around here?
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't know too much about wrestling before, because yeah, just basic stuff. As we knew the bigger events, like the ones from TV or from the internet or stuff like that. And then to realize in these smaller arenas where not everything is choreographed before, and where it gets really rough, and then outside of the ring, it's just dirt, and they jump and onto that, and they fight on that, and
outside the ring with the public. Like there are there are no rules. There's like everything is possible.
Yeah.
They fly, they jump, they fall, they hurt, they stand up again.
Yeah.
It's like non-stop energy pushing like the whole time.
Yeah.
This was
and it gets really rough, and they were oftentimes really bruised up during the weeks, and they would do, I mean, especially Lady Candy, she would sometimes do 3 fights on a weekend. She would go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She was beat up on Mondays, right? She was bruised. She was like limping until next Friday, because then it's time to go again. And that's what she did, and that's that was impressive to us too. And it was, it was so much rougher than we thought in the beginning, like the actual fighting in these small arenas.
And I've always known that, especially in Mexico, they live and breathe wrestling. Like that's something that they love to do. And the main focus for a lot of these women, with what you saw, was that all of the main goal was to go to Mexico City. Each and every one of them, either to return to Mexico City or to go to Mexico City to go to the big time. And that was their main goal.
Yeah.
And how each one of them connected with it, but the sacrifices that would have to come with it, and the fear that come with it. So I would love to know, when just painting the picture of this, how would you want the public who are watching it at home or on the screen at home, as you know, what do you want them to connect with this movie when they watch it?
Yeah, really, what we took out of it is really the inspiration and the fearlessness, and we really hope that transports to the movie, that no matter the circumstances, following your passion and standing up for something you love is worth it, because they all take something out of it, no matter what happened in their lives around them. That was a stable for them, that gave them a good energy, and the energy that happens in these arenas, and the relief and release that happens in these arenas for the people that are fighting, but also for the audience, is so massively that there's no question about it. They all got to do it. And that was inspiring to us. And we hope that the film somehow transports that to an audience at home or in a theater. Let's see when
And I think also it's important, because what happens in Ciudad Juarez is really based in machismo, sexism, and I think we have to be aware of all these structures we live in to be able to break them and to change them. I think we need, like everybody, everywhere around the world, we really need to sit down and see, okay, what do we think about women? What do we think about men? And is it the right thing that we are thinking? Because the things that happen there with women is just the consequence of cultural structures that are not actual anymore. And we have really to change that. And we have to defend who we are and why we are here. And I think this is a very important message that I would like the public to get.
Yeah. There's we think a global movement, a global feminist movement that is happening right now, and for the last few years became really strong, but there's still a long way to go. And our protagonists, some of them relate more to that and some do less, but we feel really the way they're living is a part of that, and is living proof of that things can be changed, because these 3 women the lives they're living, I think 10, 15 years in Juarez were unthinkable almost, you know, and they're doing it today, and that's a change already, and that's hopefully a positive sign. Yeah.
And seeing how you guys, you know, especially with the bigger thing of it was when you showed just women all together from different ages coming together in the ring, and a lot of it was just celebrating womanhood, celebrating being proud to be a woman, not be afraid to go out there and conquer whatever life may throw at you.
Yeah.
And I that was something that put a smile on my face, just seeing them, you know, turnbuckles over each other, just grapple with each other, and just basically have fun. You know what I mean? Don't be scared, because the city, then when they were protesting and when they were saying their names, showing that we hear you, we see you, and you are loved, and we care.
Yeah.
And like you brought up how times are changing and the voices are being heard louder and louder, but other parts in other countries is taking a little longer than it should. And I think that is the message that we hope more people get out for when they also see this film.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that, you know, I've got, first of all, if I haven't said enough with anyone who's listening to this, how much I enjoyed this film, I'll say it again. I enjoy this
Thank you
film.
so much.
This is so nice.
But I just gotta let it go like this. Before I let you go, and before we bid adieu, I want you to let it know, whomever you love the most and the people that have been by your side, show love to them for this journey you've been to right now, for this journey that you are right now. Show love and give thanks to those who have been by your side.
Oh, this is super nice. I mean, I would say, first of all, I would like to thank Philip Kaminiak, because he really managed that we could do the film from the beginning, and he was supporting us very much. And then, I mean, there are so many people we have to thank. Like a lot of the people in Juarez, all the arenas, they were welcoming us. You know, like there are not so many tourists in Ciudad Juarez, so everybody was like, "What are you doing here?" And at some point, we were just one more in the family, and this was super nice the way they treated us. Like then we were. When we were editing, we also got connected with No Ficción, which is a wonderful production company who was there and helped us a lot. But I mean, I would say, I don't know, there are so many people to thank.
So many, it's such a long list. It's incredible. But I would also say that I think the lucha community, the wrestling community in Juarez, that really welcomed us with open arms. And was supportive in so many ways from the very beginning, when we were just so nobody's asking around. You know, we want to shoot a movie about female wrestlers who would be open for that, and then we would be sent around. You know, you go to that arena, there's this fight happening. Talk to her, tell her you come from us, and I think this openness into the community is really the big thing. It wouldn't have been possible without that.
There were also all these feminist groups in Juarez who were also super, super nice and super kind to us. And then some other fighters like Miscat, Pagano, I don't know, Zafiro. There were so many people, and also all the families, you know, because they were not only our protagonists, but the families of our protagonists were super supportive from the beginning. And this was like, without them, this would not have been possible. Like they opened their homes, they opened their heart for us, and we could be there. And we had a lot of fun. We really enjoyed this project there, and it was really because of the work of a lot of people. Yeah, like.
I mean, I have to think on Baby Star's mother alone. Yeah. She would drive us around with her red truck all of the time, and when we would say, "Are we gonna take an Uber or something?" No, kids, that's too dangerous. I'm gonna drive you.
No, I love that.
And then it was so wonderful. Yeah. Really the people in Juarez that made it possible and gave us the security also to shoot in a place like that. You know, which is for foreigners. I mean, a special thing too.
Sorry. No, like I'm thinking like the whole team then who worked like, you know, editing, Gines, Jan with the sound, like everything. Yeah, a lot of people to thank.
Hard work and care showed in this film. And if it piques your interest and you want to see it, there ain't no other place you got to check it out. South by Southwest. Check it out March 16th to the 20th. Don't got your ticket? Get it. Sign up because you in for a blast of a time. And then all I got to say is just this. My name is Ronald E. Smith. This right here is Paola Calvo and Patrick Jasim, and they created Luchadoras. If you don't know, you now know. Thank you very much. I wish you well.